The more you try to hold on to the world, the farther it moves away from you. It's the same with relationships. When someone really wants to make friends, their face and voice naturally become a little stiff. Even if they act kind, there's a hidden wish of, "Please like me," and other people can sense that. So the stronger the desire to make friends, the more relationships tend to drift apart. On the other hand, people who don't seem interested in trying to make friends usually end up meeting the right people. They don't chase anyone, but they don't push anyone away either. They just live in a way they like, keeping their own calm rhythm. They don't grab others to escape loneliness, and they don't exaggerate themselves to gain attention. That natural ease makes others feel comfortable, and relationships grow on their own. These connections aren't forced. They form naturally, in a flow where neither person feels burdened. In the end, all feelings of lack come from the belief, "I need something." The more you see yourself as small or incomplete, the bigger the empty space inside feels, and you start searching outside to fill it. But actions that come from a sense of lack only create more lack. Even if you get something that looks good for a moment, it doesn't truly fill you. Maybe it feels satisfying for a short time, but soon the emptiness returns, and you try to grab even more. Freedom from lack doesn't come from anything outside. It begins when you realize the completeness already inside you. The moment you understand that you are not a small, separate wave on the ocean, but part of the whole itself. When you see that you are not a tiny dot living outside the world, but that the world is experiencing itself through your eyes, you begin to notice your own wholeness. And once you truly feel that, you no longer think you need something. You don't beg for anything, and you don't feel the urge to hold on tightly to things. Someone who knows they are already enough grows naturally, without trying, and remains quiet, yet reaches far. Realizing your completeness doesn't mean avoiding money or avoiding people. It simply means you don't cling to them. When the time is right, things come. When the time is right, they naturally leave. And you no longer try to control that flow by force. The sun never tries to pull people toward it. It simply exists where it is, and countless forms of life naturally gather toward its light. A person who tries to attract everything by force ends up scattering their energy. But someone who simply is, who lives from their true being, finds that life itself begins to gather around them. The sense of stability that such a person gives off naturally draws others in. Even if they don't talk much, people want to get closer. Even if they don't push forward loudly, opportunities appear quietly on their own. Their greatest charm isn't flashiness. It's their steady, unshakable center. And that center doesn't come from what they have achieved, but from the inner knowing that they are already enough. The more you try to control life head-on, the more complicated and unpredictable it becomes. But when you recognize the flow and stay connected to your inner self, things that look like coincidences start revealing themselves as deeper causes and connections. Everything in nature moves without force. And because there is no force, there is harmony. Humans are part of that same nature. So we are strongest and most natural when we stop trying to pull everything toward us by force. This is why a person who remembers their own completeness doesn't waver with external conditions. They don't chase after what they want aggressively, and they don't desperately hold on to what is leaving. If the flow calls them forward, they move. If the flow tells them to pause, they become still. This is also what countless teachers of the past meant by the wisdom of non-doing. Non-doing is not laziness or inaction. It is the most natural, most accurate way of moving. I hope you truly understand this. The sun never begs anything from the world. It simply shines quietly from its place, and all life comes toward it on its own. What we need to learn is actually this simple. When we remember the fullness inside us and live quietly from that place, we no longer have to chase the world. The world begins to move toward the light of our being. Life is completed in this way. The moment we try to hold on, things drift away. When we simply stand in our own presence, they come closer. Just understanding this simple truth means we've already passed halfway. And the same is true for you. The moment you remember the completeness of your own existence, there is no longer anything you need to grab or cling to. The world will naturally come toward you on its own. The less you struggle and push, the more quietly and more precisely things will enter your life. Here, a question naturally comes up. But what if I can't feel this sense of completeness inside me? I don't look special. I'm not talented. I don't have money. How am I supposed to feel full and complete? There's a simple way to understand this and apply it directly to your life. See your life as if it were a dream. In a dream, many kinds of people, places, and events appear. There are friends, celebrities, successful business owners, everything. But if you look closely, everything that appears in a dream is only a scene created by your consciousness. It's just one projection, one shadow of your own mind. In a dream, you are the world, and the world is you. The people who show up in that dream are not actually separate beings. They are all parts of your own consciousness. If you are the tree, then every person in the dream is like a fruit growing from that tree. A tree never gets jealous of the beautiful fruit hanging from its own branches. It already knows that everything growing from it is simply an extension of itself. So let's change the question. If you are the tree that represents the whole world, why would you feel jealous of the fruits you see? The successful people, the popular ones, the talented ones? Why try to match their standards, their opinions, or the expectations society creates? You are not the fruit. You are the source that creates the fruit. No matter how brightly a fruit shines, that light comes from the roots and trunk, from you. So the thought, "I'm lacking," doesn't match your true nature at all. The reason you don't feel full or complete isn't because you're missing ability. It's because you mistakenly think you are just a fruit. But you are already the tree. All you need to do is stop believing you're the fruit. Your true self is the consciousness that dreams the dream, the tree that gives birth to the world, the source of all experiences. Once you understand this, you realize that the idea, "I need something to fill my lack," was mistaken from the beginning. You no longer need to feel pushed around by the outside world. Those people are not your enemies, not your competition, and not beings separate from you. They are scenes created by your own consciousness, symbolic expressions within your dream. When someone remembers the source of their own existence, they break free from the feeling of lack, and the way they relate to themselves and the world changes at the deepest level. There is no need to chase anyone, no need to convince anyone, no reason to envy anyone. And from the moment you begin to feel, not just understand with your mind, that you are already enough, your life will truly start flowing in a different direction. Every person lives with a small empty space inside them. Some people are afraid of that space, so they constantly try to pull things in from the outside. Others simply accept that empty spot and keep their own steady rhythm of life. The difference may look small, but as time goes on, their lives begin to split in completely opposite directions. A person who moves from a sense of lack always directs their actions outward. They feel they must get something from outside to become a little better. When they receive someone's kindness, they feel temporarily filled. When someone approves of them, they feel a moment of reassurance, as if their worth has been confirmed. But this reassurance never lasts long. Any stability built by leaning on another person disappears the moment that person leaves. So they lift their head again and run, searching for something even bigger to fill the space. Along the way, relationships get worn out. The mind becomes scattered, and they start to feel smaller and smaller inside. In contrast, a person who knows inner fullness moves in a completely different direction. They don't try to erase the empty space inside them. Instead, they accept it naturally and move only as much as they truly need to. They don't feel the need to hold on to anyone, and they don't feel pressured to prove themselves to others. Because they don't lose themselves, they don't cling to people who come and go. They simply respect the natural flow of relationships. The energy you feel from someone like this is quiet, but steady. Others feel comfortable around them without even knowing why. And because they hold their own center so well, people naturally stay near them. Actions that come from fullness are not fast, but they are precise. There's no pressure to produce immediate results, so they can hear their inner voice clearly. Their choices become light, yet firm. Because the action itself, not the recognition, becomes the purpose, they don't get impatient. And they don't lose their path even when no one is watching. They may seem slow from the outside, but their life eventually connects to a bigger road. And as time passes, their life becomes deeper and more solid. Lack makes a person impatient, while fullness makes a person free. Lack creates comparison, while fullness brings you back to your own place. Lack makes you chase other people's opinions, while fullness keeps you rooted in your inner center. In the end, the direction of your life is not determined by what you want, but by the state you live and act from. Every relationship, every opportunity, every flow in life doesn't come by force. It shifts according to the kind of presence you stand in. So remember this now. You are the tree that creates the world, the consciousness that dreams the dream, and an already complete, already enough being.